What's going on, y'all? This be your boy Scotty by Nature, and
Jamar 4.
I think it's a delay, child. I think I hear the delay already. I think it's a delay somewhere, but we'll get through this, child.
You
We will
see
get
it?
through it.
I don't see it on my.
However, we're here. We ain't been here for like which did you say something?
You froze.
Oh, I froze.
Oh,
Oh, I don't know.
okay. Yeah, there's a delay on your end. Am I delayed?
Yeah, I think we both have delay. I think that's going to be the issue tonight. I think we both have a child. This might be a StreamYard thing, so we just got to try to get through
Oh,
it. Or it may have to be a situation both go out and come back in or some shit like that at some point.
do we want to try that for us before we bring everyone else in to see if it? Do we want to see if it works?
Uh, you can go. Okay, so do you want to go out and come back in first, or do you want to do it first?
Lamar said I'm not delayed. Did,
I think it's just us. Do you want me to go out and come back in?
um,
Alex, fuck you. What you said, cause my internet is very much so upgraded. So this is a StreamYard issue. This is not a Scotty issue, child. But you want me to go out and come back in first?
okay, go ahead. Minor technicalities that we deal with live. Okay, yeah, it must be him because nobody else is saying that I'm delayed. So, do y'all hear this ding? I hope they don't hear the ding. They
I
probably
don't
do
hear
hear the ding.
anything.
And they can hear my
Okay.
notification. Okay, see,
What
okay.
happened now?
They can hear my notifications. So let me close this.
Please do.
Okay.
Okay. Is it any better now?
Okay, let me go back to. Okay, say some more words.
I said, is it any better now?
No, but
It might be.
I think it's just the video
Huh?
though. The video might just be delayed, but the audio I think is fine.
Okay, okay. Well, anyways, I'm sorry, you guys, for this technical issue that we have here and there. Okay. However, we're here tonight because our very own Jamar 84 was a part of an Alex Jante, well, Jante Productions film by the name of The Assistant 2. He was one of the stars of the film. And we also have the producer, and we have two other cast members here tonight as well. We're going to discuss the film at hand. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start it off with bringing in shady Alex Jante. We're going to bring his ass in here first, you know,
Hey,
because,
how y'all
yeah.
doing?
He was
Welcome.
extra nice when I saw him Friday, but he wanted to be
Scotty, we won't be like this. We won't.
no, you started it, but it's okay. Next up is another star of the film by the name of Lamar. I hope I got his last name right. Is it Lamar Allen? I think that's his last
As far as I know it.
name. Okay. It's Lamar Allen. He's also
Yes, as
part
far
of
as I
the
know.
movie as well.
Welcome.
And last but not least is probably one of the he was probably one of my favorite people in the movie because of the bouginess and all of that other shit that's opposite of me. That's probably why I liked him so much in the movie. But let's bring in Roman Anthony. He was also in the movie too. I forget what the name of the character is though, but I just know he was bougie as hell.
Okay then.
He's his character was Nile. His character was Nile.
Mhm.
Okay.
His character was not here for you though. I was saying that the whole time we were sitting there. It's like, oh, he ain't here for you at all.
Uh, but welcome everyone to the Prelude. I think it's the first time for everyone. Is there feedback?
No, Alex was up here before.
It is.
What did
Who?
you do?
Alex came up here before when we interviewed
Oh,
Ron and Tramell,
oh, that's right. That's right. He came up here for
but
a
he
quick.
wasn't being interviewed. He just brought his ass up there.
Right.
So this is the first time.
Scotty, I feel like before we get started, you have something specifically to say to me. So let's just go ahead and get it out.
I don't have
Wait,
nothing to tell you,
So what was
Charlie.
said?
I don't know what's
Don't you
happening.
start. No, I was gonna start shit tonight. I ain't finna
What had
do
happened
that.
was
I mean, we want to be up on the T too. We want to kiki.
that's
It
why I
ain't
can.
nothing. Alice just been his shady ass self. That's all.
Let's dive in.
But at any rate, so again, welcome to everyone. I wanted to bring on both the production and other talent, as we've had like different aspects in making the film what it was, which I think everybody agrees this was an amazing project. Everybody did such a good job in the film, and I feel like we can all speak from various experiences. So I mean, Alex, let's talk with you in terms of just like, did the film in the end credit, once everything was done, said and done, was it what you envisioned?
Yes, there are some death scenes that I wish we were able to do more with, but because production budget, my budget, um, it was limited. But I think the story, the characters, everything came to life the way that me and Orlando Love, who's the other co-writer on the film, the way that we envisioned it when we wrote it. So I was very excited, very happy with it.
Okay, that's good. And I want to preface this by like, we're going to be talking complete and total spoilers.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler warning!
If you have not seen it, do not watch this live stream interview yet. Please go watch the film under Jante Productions. Uh, so I'm going to move to Lamar. Now, Lamar was in the first and the second film.
I
So,
was.
you was. You might be in the third one if there is one. So, how was it? How was filming The Assistant 2 any different than filming the first one?
I said I wasn't gonna be petty, so I'm not.
Speak freely and honestly.
Oh no. Anyone that tells me to speak freely don't really know me. Uh,
That's why I'm asking you to speak freely.
and I'm telling you, you don't. So I would say what's different about the second one is definitely we had more time. It was more of a. So we did the first one, we got the kinks out of the way, and we knew not necessarily saying that we did a lot wrong, but whatever, nothing's perfect. And of course, this was like the baby. So when you do what you do with one child, and then you know what to do better with your next child. And I think that Alex was very meticulous about this film. It was like, okay, so I got the feedback, the good, the bad, the in between, and now I need to make sure that everything that I put out at this point is going to be better because I'm taking in the constructive criticism and maybe some of the blah blah that I've heard. So for me personally, I think that everybody really went into this film wanting to be serious. Like, okay, we seen what Alex did on the first one, and he's including us in the second one. So I can't look past. People gonna really be watching this, so I got to do what I got to do. So I really appreciated everybody's drive on this second one.
Oh god, yeah, it was. I definitely could see the difference.
Hold on, first of all, I answered that question, but go ahead. Go ahead.
And this is very much Lamarr, and this is very much, and this is why. Well, I'll get into that later because how it is just working with Lamarr in the set where we're supposed to be serious and we can't be serious for 5 seconds. Oh, so Roman and I first met on the set of this show, and I think our first scene that we filmed together was the first time that we met face to face, if I'm not mistaken. And he's acted before, so this isn't your first, go around in the realm of film. So how was it like transitioning into this role as opposed to your previous roles?
Let's see. I did the homework as actors were trained to do, so I did the homework. However, I have never done anything that was like a horror film. So that's where I was nervous as an actor. I was like, how the hell am I supposed to die? Or how am I supposed to like make this stuff look real when I've not done anything close to this so far in the 10 years that I've been acting? So it was a challenge. It was really fun, and it was quite interesting for me.
So I think it's I didn't realize this until after we already put like the flyer and stuff together. It's like for who my character was, like Lamar and Niall were like my two quote unquote adversaries during the film. So,
I think that's you.
I don't know how to
I
say
told
it,
I told you. It's
but
you know that when you swipe up and it says silent.
I definitely closed because I'm on my laptop. I definitely closed the application. So I'm unsure how to make her not do that because I'm not used to doing it on my laptop.
So put your cell phone on airplane mode so that way your laptop won't get the notifications.
It's on Do Not Disturb. Well, I guess it's on air. Well, let's see. Let's try it on airplane mode. See if that makes it better. So let's do it like that.
Everyone watching, this is how it was on set. just so y'all know.
Very much so.
And it's
And there's a lot of fun facts. Is that when I auditioned for the assistant too. This is like back in December of 2020.
Yeah.
I went in because whatever the roles that were available, I went for Roman's role for Niall, and then I think Alex and Orlando had me read for who did Trey play in the beginning?
Joseph, the first person.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I thought I could do it. And then I didn't get it. And I, got like the commercial role. I was like, at first I was like, oh, I was kind of bummed about it. But then looking at it now, I'm like, thank God.
See, he had a plan.
Because I couldn't see you playing Roman's role at all. I cannot see you playing. Can't nobody play it.
It would not have worked. I could not see that.
Somebody's popular tonight.
Oh,
Well, you know what they say, nothing open after 10 o'clock but legs and liquor stores.
oh my God. I have a question for Jamar. Being part of like the Prelude with Scotty, going in, being on production, and then being like a viewer, not knowing or not seeing anything. How was it for you being like your first role, since both Roman and Lamarr have been on something prior?
Oh, like watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, I did not know who that was I was watching.
That's good.
I did not know who that was I was watching, because when you're in it and you're getting recorded, you don't see yourself. You don't know what the angle is that you're getting recorded from. You don't know like how you're coming across. You just think about it in your mind and you just pray, since Alice wouldn't let us see anything or view or approve of anything. But it was surreal. It really was. I remember when it was first starting, I'm like, wow, they're really about to see this. They're really about to see this. And I didn't know what it was going to be. So I'm just like, well, here we go. Play the film. Let's go. I'm ready. So that's very much where my head was watching it.
Oh, see, Roman, you didn't get to see, but for Lamarr and Jamar, how did y'all feel seeing it in the theater as opposed to like at home?
Lamarr, you answer first.
I preferred it better at home for a few reasons. One, because people were loud, but I'm trying to give you a better answer than
Can I ask a question?
No, Roman, because you weren't there, so you can't help.
No, I want to ask a question.
Okay, well, let me finish mine.
You're so horrible.
I in general, seeing it at a theater and hearing like the reactions and stuff like that, I love feedback in general. I love for people to be like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing. What the hell they doing? Bitch, get out the room. Oh, this whole crazy. Like, I love all of that because that's what you envision. I'm assuming, because you know I'm just talent. That's what you envision when when you put a movie out, and you being the actor, you want people to receive you in the best way. And if there's something you need to change, you want to hear that too. So the experience was, it was a bit overwhelming just because I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm watching this and other people are too. And as good as I think this scene is, somebody else might not like it. And I just got to still sit here and like just take it all in because I ain't seen it either. So it was a different kind of experience. It was a different kind of experience. Jamar.
I agree, and I was definitely excited to hear what like the audience's reaction was going to be with certain scenes that we knew were coming up. Uh, we just didn't know how it was going to look, but we knew what was said.
Right.
So I think that was probably like the most fun, just to see like how everyone just reacted to the story and just the twist. And I think for me particularly, I enjoyed no one having a clue of what to expect from me. They didn't know what to, because it was my first time on screen. And so I feel like when I told like a lot of my friends that I was in it and they were just coming at the sport, they thought I was going to be like somebody that just died and got lost in the river or something. So when it happened,
well, I mean, technically, I'm sorry, go ahead.
well,
Go ahead. My apologies. Go ahead.
well, it was a lot more. I don't know. We don't know what happened to Tristan, but it was cool to see everybody's reaction to just how in depth the character was, and for people to be happy with the performance. That's all I wanted, because I didn't know what was going on. I told Alice, I'm like, I am terrified of what is going to happen in this film, but it worked out. I'm glad he knew what he was talking about. I just didn't know yet. But this is still like a. I mean, I know we dressed this up as an interview, but this is really us talking for the first time about the film. So if anybody else has questions that they want to ask about it, feel free. Because I know.
Hmm?
Oh no, go ahead.
No. I got one. So before I saw The Assistant 2, Jamar recommended that I watch the first one before I see the second. Because if I don't watch the first one, then I'm going to be lost if I see the second one. Now, I literally saw the first one literally right before we came to the premiere. Like, literally. So I was watching and I was like, okay. I'm like, this is good. You know what I mean? Because I was sitting there and, normally when you watch a movie, sometimes you kind of can, sense where it's going, but I really didn't know where any of it's going. And I had to sit back and I'm like, wait, so it was like that? Wait, nah, that made no sense. No, oh, okay, now it makes sense at the end. So then I watched the second one. I'm like, oh, so that's what happened. That's why he told me to watch it. So my question is, I guess for Lamar and Alex, I guess because they was in the first one, what was different? What was the difference between filming the first one and the second one? Like, how did y'all feel about this? How was the experience filming the first one different than the second one?
I'll let Lamar go first.
Because I want to say you asked. I want to say this is the question you asked, Alex. Um, yeah, I would just have to say that we went into it a lot more focused and knowing like what to do better in every sense. Not saying things were bad, but just okay, I did this, I can always do something better. So that was the difference. And then also because now being in, or initially being in the first one, you were like, okay, I know the story. But now there's a second one, and it's like, okay, knowing the first story, I'm going, I like it's me. Or speaking in reference to me, it's me. Like, okay, this is my character from the first one, and now I'm in the second one. So like, I'm able to actually see my growth. So it's always good to be able to go through it, be able to walk through things and be a part of it. So I think I enjoyed the second one just because it was growth. It was character growth for me.
Yeah. I would say that I will. So I'll answer that from like a production or writing standpoint. So the first one, we wrote it really kind of like in three parts. So like the first part, you really feel like, and again, spoiler alert. So you really feel like, and you're watching this machine kind of have this like poltergeist effect where it's like doing stuff on its own. The second part beat of the film is more like I know what you did last summer. Like there's another entity, there's like somebody like taking out these people, and the third one is like the third act is like the big reveal that kind of ties up everything else. And then if you rewatch the first film, it's a completely different movie because those things were kind of always there. The second one, I wanted that same element, but this the second one's coming more of a place of like revenge or Connie Monte Cristo. I'm a big fan of revenge storylines. So like the show Revenge, Count of Monte Cristo, some of the great stories that are out there, drama, horror, whatever, are like revenge kind of bent. So even with that in mind, of that having that framework, with Jamar's character, you could rewatch it a second time now knowing and seeing it and see the movie completely different. So like after the party scene, when Alexa lights up and it says connected, you realize that Jamar's character like synced into the Wi-Fi within the house, right? So the reason why he went over there was to do certain stuff. So like all of that is revealed to you once you actually know that going in the second time.
What was your uh, going into the second one? I guess in particularly, what was the strategy when it came to casting new characters like Roman, me, Henry, and the rest of the cast?
So Lamarr kind of touched upon it. It was just to show Reese's attempt of growth, right? Like at the end of the first one, you kind of saw like the what is it, Jekyll personality kind of take over more. And then so by the time you meet these new characters, you see that he's trying to go past the threshold of any personal relationship not being accomplished. He's kind of gotten past that because he's been able to connect with some people, right? He hasn't had necessarily had a footing in love life, but he's at least trying to reach out and be more proactive in life. And he's gotten past that self fight that he's had. Now there's an outside entity that's kind of coming upon him that he has that's challenging him now.
Mhm. And I know one of the main differences between the YouTube version and the theatrical version is the scene with you and Lamarr, and then the scene with Roman and Henry, particularly the song. I cannot watch the YouTube version of that scene. It really gives me very much mayonnaise, unseasoned chicken in comparison to the theatrical version. It like I believe the scene with
They
the
was in there doing some things.
I believe. Now, I remember I was there. We was there with Roman when they filmed that scene. And it was very like
Funny. I thought it was funny.
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, it
Sorry.
was.
Roman, do you have the same mesh top that you died in on? What are you wearing?
I don't. It's just so
Oh,
different. This is like
Oh,
netted.
that would have been cool if it was.
I was about to say, oh.
Or the same underwear.
I like to be covered but still sensual.
So how was that filming that scene? Now knowing how it was to film it and then seeing it post production, how was the contrast?
Who's that question for?
Roman.
Oh. That is actually like the third sex scene I've had to shoot. And I thought that was the one I was the most comfortable with. I will say that. And I think as an actor, it's kind of hard to shoot these scenes, is because we all have our own insecurities, and I know what I do in the bedroom and what I need to portray is done in the bedroom to make something look a certain type of way. So that's why I kept laughing a lot behind the scenes, because I was like, I wouldn't do this shit, or this is not how I do this. Or like, I'm like, it kind of cracks me up a little bit, and I was like, okay. Now let me check off the list of people who cannot watch this film because they don't see me doing certain. And I forgot one of my mother's cousins. She around that age. She was like, "Oh, I want to see it. Where is that?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I just saw it, and I forgot I had a sex scene, and you gonna be watching it with Uncle Earl and them. He in his 80s." I'm like, "Oh Jesus." So I'm always that made me very nervous. I was like, "Oh God, they're gonna see that." But I had fun doing it because I think Chris was a good sport as an actor to do that. For him to not have had to do a sex scene before, and him to come in it like, "Yeah, let's do whatever," like, and it was just like professional.
Yeah.
Even though the questions I got afterwards was not professional by the people, but like it's he was professional, and the whole set was professional.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you were there, Jamar. So I was like, we put on music. We made jokes, but I shared them. Like my vision for sex scenes is to sell the emotion, not necessarily the skin. Right? I'm not trying to sell
Yeah.
porn. In fact, the whole point of a sex scene, it really just shouldn't move the story forward. Um, the point of that particular sex scene on for Roman and Chris's characters to really like give you empathy as a viewer to their character. So when something tragic happens to them, you feel something, right? And then the parallel to their connection with me and Lamar's scene was to show the connection that he still had for this projection or this embodiment of Chase of my character.
I actually like the transitions of those scenes. I thought that was very well done.
And I remember because y'all did that scene, I think that last day of filming, and I had no idea what y'all were doing.
And he wanted to know so bad.
I was like, because we finished, I was done, and then we're upstairs, and I'm hearing this song, and I'm all these lights set up. I'm like, what the who's going on? Because he told us to all upstairs. I said, I don't like being told what to do.
I need you. And this is Alex. All right, everybody. I need you all to exit the set. I need you all to go upstairs. Me and Lamarr gotta do something.
Mm.
And Jamar came downstairs afterwards. Jamar came over there and slithered over there to me and said, "What y'all doing?" Baby, Jamar wants to know. Do you hear me? Jamar is going to always want to know. He said,
Yes.
I can't leave here until I know.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
we had a closed set just for professionalism when Lamar's part came up, but for my scene, I was just like, oh, I mean, it doesn't really matter. But also, I think Devon had to come down to film me, and I think at that time Jamar had came down, and everybody was just in the room. I was like, well, child, I just need to get this shot. So come on, the night is long.
Like, your mama hit you upside the head for dancing on that counter like that. She was like, "I know I didn't raise you like this."
My mama just called.
She in the comments.
Airplane mode.
She in the comments.
Hey, mom.
No, I had to put on airplane mode. Go ahead. Like, why would you call me right now? Are you watching?
So, this question is for Alex, Roman, and Lamarr. So, how was it working with Jamar on set?
I don't want to
Now,
go
that's
first.
what I want to know.
I'll go first.
Because they keep saying Lamarr go first. I don't want to go first.
I'll go first. So, first of all, I just want a big, huge applause to Jamar because the fact that I think I called you like a week and a half before we actually started filming. I was like, hey, listen, circumstances come up. I need you to fill in for this role. And the fact that he was ready was amazing. So he was really nervous. He really kept, in my opinion, underestimating what he was giving, and he kept kind of questioning. I was like, no, if you need further direction, I'll give it to you. Just kind of hit this mark, give me your lines, and we would go through a scene or a take maybe once or twice, depending on what the scene was. I think our longest scene maybe had been the card playing game. That's because we were just getting different angles and with different people. But other than that, Jamar didn't necessarily need that many takes to kind of convey what I needed for him.
I didn't believe it too. That's because I was like, I don't know what I'm giving. Because I was like, you did. That's it. That's all you need. He's like, yeah, I got it. I'm like, are you sure?
That's good. Always question yourself. That's good.
Shoot. Now, Lamar, it's your turn.
Oh, hold on. My mom is in the comments and she plays Karen. She said you did a good job too, Jamar.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mama.
She
Thank
acted her
you.
ass off in the film. That's the villain.
She did. She was my co-villain. Secretly, I was like, "Dang, Mama." She didn't care.
Mama brought out tears. You brought out blood. I don't like it.
Nikki said, "I played myself." How dare you?
That's not true. I don't believe that.
The killing part wasn't you, but that shady shit is you. That's the only thing that was you was the shady shit. But the killing part, no. But I said that to you while we were sitting there watching the movie, though.
You think you know,
just when you think you got a friend.
right?
Roman, I think it's on you.
Oh yeah,
Who
remember
has one?
I actually enjoyed working with you, Jamar. You were good to play with. It's really nice when you got an actor who you can just throw some shit out there and be goofy or weird, and they give it to you back, or you can be like just whatever I was changing up. Because if you notice in my scenes, I was always like doing it a little different, just to see like I didn't know what you needed. I was like, let me just try it a little different. I ain't never did horror type shit, so let's see. And Jamar was right there, like, okay, whatever you throw out, I'm gonna throw back, and it was great to be able to play with actors like that. That's why I wanted to work with Lamarr. I saw the first one, I was like, oh, this is somebody I can, I can work with. It's gonna be like, good.
this is true. I think it was just because once we kind of met, we started reading through the lines, and I kind of had the gist of who your character was, and I'm like, okay, so I know he took my man.
You gave me more than what my man gave me in them scenes. I'll tell you that.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Dreaming.
Our Father Lord today. We gather
Got the libations. Got the libations.
I do indeed. I do. I absolutely do have that. But yeah, what's our idea of who Roman was? I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy. This is gonna be real easy. Shade each other and side eye each other all day. Perfect. Got it.
That was fun. I don't normally do that in the daily, but I was like, it was fun. I picked it up real quick.
Absolutely.
My thing is when I look at it, it's like I remember when he first told me that he had got the role, and he was talking about how nervous he was and all of this other stuff. And then I'm like, you got it. But then I look at the movie, I'm like, you weren't that nervous because you had me very convinced that you a killing ass bitch. Like that's what you had me convinced.
I was like, jealousy is a disease, y'all.
I was sitting there like,
He did that role so damn well. My best friend said, "Did you take his man?"
Listen.
I said, you think you know somebody? I didn't know you had it in you. You think you know somebody?
That's why
That's all
when I
I
was
can say.
I don't know who this is on screen. I don't know who that man is.
Mm-hmm.
It was so long ago that I don't remember doing a lot of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, okay.
I was just telling somebody earlier today, though, Jamar. I said he played that part too good. I believe he got some of this shit in because he played that too well.
And a lot of people have been telling me, I'm like, is this Reed? Okay, y'all telling me that you think I'm real crazy? Like I'm crazy for real?
I mean, I could see it a little bit, a little craziness in there.
He is a Scorpio, so.
You a Scorpio? Oh hell yeah, y'all crazy. My little brother is Scorpio. That little motherfucker's demonic.
I'm not the one.
Y'all can be demonic when y'all want to. I should have put him up for adoption when I had the chance.
Oh, see.
Now always somebody hurt.
He cool now that he's an adult, but when he was younger.
Everybody got a story.
Your Scorpios be a lot.
And now that was Lamar's turn.
About Jamar? Baby, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Jamar was trying to come for the crown, baby. Jamar was trying to be the next Supreme. I said, now, hold on, baby. You do know that when this film ends, you end. Like, wait a minute.
And that's why I get what I can give while I can.
I will say this, and honestly, the first movie they wore me out because they was like, you played your part a little bit too damn well, and I feel like you got to screw loose for real. So to hear them say that about you in this second film, technically I was innocent in this second film. So I want you to get all of this is the real use that you can get. I'm eating that up because they yeah, this was Jamar for real, y'all. I want all of his friends to be like, but that's how he act. Okay, you can have all of that. As far as working with you on set in general, Jamar is I love Jamar. Jamar is a very now mind you, I haven't just been around him a whole lot, and I'm sure we all have different sides.
Because I'm ready to see what you finna say.
For the
See what
most
you finna
part,
say.
no, Jamar is just real. He's like what you call a subtle shady, meaning that he can be as calm and relaxed and have a straight face and be like, oh, that's where they stay at.
What the heck is that?
Oh. And like it's just subtle. It's like subtle shadiness, and I live for all of that. Like I've never seen you buck wild. I've never seen you have to just be extra crazy, and you still get just enough people to be like that damn Jamar, that damn Jamar. And
But he be lying
I love
though.
my petty people. And when Jamar came in, it was just we were instant petty partners. Like we couldn't keep. It was so hard for some of our scenes together because it was just like, all right, we're gonna be serious. So as we look at each other. Cut.
Well, one thing I want to say about that is,
you say what?
I'm glad you said that he's shady because he tried to pretend like he not. So I'm glad you put that out there so I could be vindicated because people
I was
really believe he's
acting.
not shady.
I was acting. It was
No,
a
you
bad.
shady.
I
I'm
would say
vindicated now. Somebody else.
the one scene we had like 9 takes of that punch scene. When Lamar got punched, we had like 9 takes. And I was just like, I kept saying, like, I just need y'all to like focus. Lamar, act like you got hit, your hair like fly, like give me this effect. And Lamar was just like, what? And him and Lamar would not stop playing.
I'm telling y'all, if we could have there was no way we could have did a look back. Like like if you hit somebody and you hit them and they look back at you, like I can't believe you hit me. Every time I would get hit, and I would like turn around like, I gotta have my white woman moment, bam, and bust out laughing. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. So the whole time when you see me just on the floor still, it's because that's all we could do to keep it going. Like that was all we could do for us to keep the ball rolling is for me just not to interact with him at all because we weren't gonna make it. We was not gonna make it.
You ain't never lied. That the scene, the big reveal of the villain when he stops and turns around. I feel like we did that about 4 or 5 times.
We lost it every time
because what the hell is that?
The smoke detector.
Bro, you got a fire.
It's the mute. It's the mute for me.
I need to make sure the oven wasn't on.
Okay, Chase.
There's nothing on.
That might be a problem.
So, told you not to touch that microwave. But anyway, we did that scene about 4 or 5 times because every time he would look around and he's supposed to have like that face of shock and just disgust, you just lose it, just drop character.
It ended up
that was your fault.
Down the chair. Yeah,
you are supposed to be a professional. I should be able to do whatever I want to do behind this camera that's not on me.
Just because the camera's not on me, I still have to look at you. Every time I turn around, Jamar be like this.
I'm just standing there.
Every time I be like, I'm trying to turn around and look surprised. He just I hate you. I hate you. But then I realized that he was trying to come for the crown, and I said, "What was it, Alex? Something happened, and I don't know what happened, but I was like, okay, let's go." And Alex said, "Uh oh, Lamarr can be serious on your ass," and we got through with it. But it was funny.
It was great. That was probably one of the. I mean, I really did. I enjoyed all of the scenes. I think my favorite scene to film was Game Day, because I think that's where like a lot of it was like the introduction to the character, and like I felt like by the end of it, you knew exactly who Tristan was. Like, you get the entire vibe, really everybody, because everybody knew who Reese was. And I think this is like the first time that they got to see like Niall and Henry show that they were in a relationship, and you got to see that, you know, there used to be some friction between Tristan and Henry at one point, and now, you know, Niles have to be like, "That's my man, back away," you know, type of tease. But all that interaction was told in that one scene. So I think that's probably like one of my favorites. And who was it that posted the clip of Roman grabbing Chris from behind, and as we walked away to the car? Who posted that?
Who said that?
I think I told him I was gonna do it though, because I don't want to. But I told him like I'm gonna do certain things to kind of like be affectionate for the character. But I don't even remember doing it. But I'm probably sure I told him if I was.
I don't remember
thought about it.
I
saw it and I was like, I don't remember doing that.
I remember filming that part, and he said after like I had said cut, he was like, "Did you get me grabbing his booty?" And I was like, "Well, if you did, I'm sure I got it." And if you go back, it's on there.
Yeah, because there was little moments where I would play with his ear or whatever on the couch. It's all little types of things that I was trying to basically get the grasp of.
He definitely reacted. Everybody on the set while filming, I would say, was definitely professional. From like in person, even the classroom scene, I thought was a nice flow.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, everybody.
That was actually my least favorite scene.
Really?
The classroom scene, yeah.
You were a bitch.
I'm always a bitch, but that's not why it was my least favorite scene.
Well, why is it your least favorite scene?
Everybody's light wasn't right.
Well, it was a couple scenes. Go ahead, Ron.
Lamar, what was that?
Nothing. I'm not gonna say anymore. Although I will say the hardest. So you guys, I don't know what y'all first scenes was, but my first scene, or me and Chris's first scene, was having sex and then getting murdered. So I feel like for my first day of going to set, that was kind of difficult. I was like, oh wait, I'm just meeting you and we gotta get down to the work. Like, I kind of wish the group table scene, the game day, would have been our first scene.
Because that's another thing. I think what made it so much interesting to watch the movie play out in itself is that we filmed these scenes in the most random order, just based on everyone's schedule. So we were doing scenes, but we didn't know I didn't really know how the scenes were supposed to flow into each other. So
right.
Roman, that was their first day meeting, and y'all had to film that scene that same
That
night?
was my first shoot day. I was like, oh shit, I gotta have sex with this stranger and get murdered. Like, that was a lot. And then somebody got high between, on the break, below intermission, before the next scene. I'm not saying it was written all over their face, but when I saw the movie, I could tell. That's just me. I don't know if anybody else could tell, but I could tell who was high.
I'm screaming
at the top of my lungs.
I did get a little tipsy though on game night because how we had to when we kept redoing the different take that I had to keep swallowing to get up and leave, and I was like, how many more times we gotta take this? Because I ain't gonna make it.
Alex, I need a little more. Well, stop drinking it then.
Look, this is continuity.
I know, that's what you
that was the word.
Jamar was like continuity, and I was like, damn, bitch, how many times we got to drink the rest of this shit? Because I get up to walk out the scene, and I gotta chug the rest of it. And we did that take at everybody's angle. I was like, damn.
Those are some good angles, though.
I felt real nice after that scene. I'll tell you that.
It flowed really well. Like, it flowed really well. Like, from person to person, angle to angle, I feel it flowed really well. It was literally like it was like that scene having a real conversation. Like, it was just like they just filmed us just really talking versus acting. It was very smooth transitions from one actor to the next. I enjoyed all of that. Like, that was a really good intro to me.
Honestly, to Eric, because I think we hadn't been introduced prior to that. I think it had just been a lot of the characters from the first movie, or just like your family members. I think up until that point.
Yeah.
I had met. Oh, I thought you were talking about us. I was like, the only person that I had met in person was Roman because I had seen you and Chris.
Yeah, I hadn't met you
So
either.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was, and I didn't know until tonight that I thought that day was the first day that Roman, you, and Chris met. Like I thought
I
that was the
wish.
first day y'all met, and then y'all filmed the sex scene after.
He does give you that kind of personality, right? Like, I don't know you bitches.
We got very acclimated and
I'm like, I've already seen you in your skivvy, sir.
Wait.
we got familiar very fast. Like we met and then we
Very
saw
quick.
everybody
Very quick.
dead, naked.
Pretty much,
The
yeah.
way I had to schedule people, so like I had to schedule scenes according to, as we said, according to people's availability, right? And we knew we had a certain amount of window. As production, I'll say this: you try to shoot in a smaller time frame because like people's lives change, other factors play into it, this or whatever. And then of course we were in COVID. People's hair change. So like I try to film certain characters in one block. So like your look and your consistency is going to be the same for all your scenes.
I gave y'all 3 different hairstyles.
I talked about
Yeah.
you in the movie theater. I said this bitch just had to. You just really gonna try to? Okay.
I appreciated that, Jamar. I was like, okay, yes,
Well,
give us
me and
something.
Jamar talked about that. We talked about like, so when you first meet him, his hair like goes up into a tight bun, like full of secrets, like you don't know what's going on. And the more comfortable he gets during the movie, the lower it gets down. So by the time he comes through the door in that hoodie, it's just down.
In this very hoodie. Now, a lot of people were asking me when they was watching it at the end. It was like, "How you just walk in that man's house?"
Now it did show that
That's what I want.
you had knocked, but like you had to just really pay attention. You knocked prior to coming in, but still, yeah, you walked up in there like you paid rent.
I mean, I did knock. At least I
A
tried to.
light bill or something.
Question,
Sure.
Scotty, because you're the only person that wasn't in the film. When you saw Jamar come in, because to me Jamar looked crazy when he came in. So you from the outside looking in, when he walked in with the contacts and the hair and that dark look, did you at some point think like, man, he look a little crazy coming in that house like that? Like, did it maybe it was just me, but he looked crazy
It
coming in.
wasn't just you because I was thinking the same damn thing. I'm thinking the same thing. Because first of all, he looked crazy walking in, and then it just looked like he just simply just walked in without knocking. I'm just like,
You don't do that to black folks.
Right.
You suspect this was already up from the jump. I still didn't look like an innocent person that could be killed at any moment.
No. But I
No,
think
at that
that was
point,
just
no.
because that was you. You can't get past, how you look. But I think
Don't dare not start.
I think
Anyway,
that, I mean,
Alex,
now,
why
you didn't
didn't you
look
write
like
in the
you were the main villain or nothing, but you just looked like you was up to some shit when you came in. Like you didn't give yourself away, but you looked like, man, what the hell?
I tried to look concerned.
Shit, that wasn't a look.
That wasn't no concern, Jamar.
It was a mix of concern and confusion.
That's what you was going for?
I think that's what it gave. I don't know if that's what I was going for, but that's what it gave.
Okay.
Concern and confusion.
So Scotty, my question to you as a person who was like simply a viewer, going from watching the first movie to immediately seeing the second, how was that experience for you? Did like the whole story flow, or was there parts you still had questions about?
No, I don't have no questions about it because I feel like it flowed really well. Like,
You better than me
because
because
like
I got
Jamar
questions.
told me, like Jamar told me ahead of time. He was like, in order for you to understand the second one, you gotta watch the first. So, I watched the first one, and then when I watched the second, like all the way to the end, when they were showing all the flashbacks and stuff on the first one, I'm like, okay, so that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Like everything kind of came together. Like once you got to the end, and then you understood it. I'm like, okay, because I never would have known that the boy that got killed in the car was his brother. I never would have picked up on that one at all. So it was just like, I'm like, oh, okay. All right then. So yeah, I ain't had no other
Um,
question.
Lamar, my mom has a question for you. She said, "How did you pull that crying on the man part like Denzel tear in Glory?"
First of all, we're gonna talk about what's missing, but we're gonna talk about something missing in that sentence. I, it oh, it's easy. It's actually easy for me to cry on demand. I won't explain why.
You're a
Um,
Scorpio. They
but
manipulative.
well, no, that ain't a Scorpio trait. But as I was saying, so it's actually easy for me to do it. It's a secret that I've mentioned on a previous interview. But I think the only we had to do it like in 3 takes for me to actually do it because once I start, I go. Like once you, I don't know if this is for everybody, but once I like start crying, like it's a go. Like it ain't no okay, wait, hold on, wait, no, we're gonna do it again. Hold on, the camera ain't on. Hold on, the light ain't on. So I was nervous when Alex was like, and Alex was trying to talk me through it, like, okay, think of a time in your life. I was like, no, I got I ain't got a problem crying if I need to, but I'm just scared that something gonna happen and y'all gonna be like, okay, wait, hold on, wait. Okay, hold on. The lens wasn't, the cap wasn't open. So that was the only issue that I had. But it wasn't, I don't have an issue. It's a little thing that I can do.
It was impressive. I was like, okay. I was like, did he do like the teardrop method where they drop an eye in right before they cut the camera off?
I was wondering if I couldn't do it, like would Alex have had like a little Visine or something? But
No, you just pull your nose hair.
No,
I don't have enough.
we would have sat there. we would have got that shot.
You know, we would have got it. Okay, slap him a little bit. We will fight about it later. Hold up.
What?
Speaking of, because Orlando, the co-writer, I don't know what call we were on, but we were talking about the scene, and Orlando was like, "Well, just let Jamar hit you for real on that scene." He was like, "Well, I mean, you know, it'll really be real. Just let him hit you for real." And I said, "Yeah, no, that ain't gonna work.
Because I'm going to hit back.
we gonna have to fake this scene." He was like,
No,
"Well, I mean, it'll be real."
because I like Lamarr, and
But I thought about it because I've heard of actors like having moments where they're like, well, they really slapped me, and like we had to do like a couple takes, and it really ended up. But I was just like, no,
a slap is different from a punch.
no. Word.
I would be more open to a slap than a punch.
No, slap is disrespectful.
A slap is a trigger for me though, because I
Yeah.
always say my mama never slapped me. My mama has never slapped me, so like that is my trigger. So I don't even play like that. So then, I was like, we're gonna have to fake this. We just gonna have to fake it.
I mean, we got it eventually.
We got it though, and in the theater, the people was like, "Damn!" Like
Did you at least
when
peach the bitch?
you said, "What? Foul!" Everybody said, "Damn!" I said, "We sold it. We sold it."
Especially since we didn't have to. Now, especially like with the knife,
Oh yeah.
that I was like, ooh.
I think it was Carl. Carl said, "Bitch, you ruthless."
Because it looked so much worse. I was like, okay, so now I see why people think it's crazy because that looked really.
And so like filming that scene, I was just like, this is gonna happen, and then you're gonna like make this spark, but it's gonna be dramatic, and you're like, what? And I was just like, just listen to me, like you just cut him across the face.
Okay.
And when you do that, like with Lamarr, where you feel this motion, just kind of like your body has to sell. And
Yeah.
the way we kind of came up with the camera, it was disrespectful. So you got cut, and then we didn't care.
Right.
I think that was like going to the theater, like seeing the post production, like bells and whistles on everything, and because filming it, you feel weird, like everything's silent. There's no scoring.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like,
Kind of like, ooh, I would have did this different if I knew the score.
like the scene, even like the sex scene with you and Chris, it was like I forget what song was playing, but it was just regular. It
I
felt
think I requested Jasmine Sullivan because that was who I was listening to lately.
Alex ain't going.
oh Lord. It could have been. It could have been, but I just like
It
I,
was it was
something's going.
Chris it was Chris Brown. It was off my sex playlist. It was not
Oh,
Jasmine.
really? See, I don't even like. Never mind. Let me not say that. But like, I'm not. Probably why I wasn't into it. Like, it was a
God,
good time. It was a good time.
I think what I think was I was laughing to myself on the inside was seeing how Alex had to sort of fill in the or set up the scenes because I know specifically for me and Tremel scene, it was supposed to be a lot more people in that building. And when I saw the set, I said, "Oh, bitch." I was like, "Oh, so this is what we're okay. I see what you're doing. Yeah, I see what you're doing." Because he said, "I'm gonna make it work." I'm like, "I don't know how, but I'm just gonna
Do
wait.
what it do, baby.
I'm gonna wait and see." But that was great. And the shot of me when I walked away from Tremel, I was like, "Oh, I am such a."
I would say shout out to Tremel. So I think Tremel's death in the movie was the first death where people was like, okay, this is a different kind of caliber of like killing that's happening. Because like when Tremel died, like when Rico and Trey died, he was kind of like, oh, okay, like you don't really know. It's kind of off camera kind of kill feels like. But when Tremel got killed, he was like, damn, all right, shit's really happening.
It was good, and it was because me and Tremel in that moment. This is a conversation that we would actually have in real life. That's that. Now he was playing himself. If anybody was playing himself, he was playing himself.
He was like, I told her ass I ain't know how to
Oh
play
yeah,
chess in the first place.
But I think, I mean, can we ask now? Is like, is there any works on like a third installment of the series? Is that happening? Is that a thing?
Didn't you die?
I mean, I feel like BC died the first time.
So you ain't gonna be in it.
Wait a minute, you said what?
I bet Reese died the first time. We thought he died the first time. Wasn't that implied?
When did we think that?
So at the end of the first one, we saw Reese's like good personality die.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, that was
that was
symbolic. That wasn't really.
symbolic.
oh, I thought he was like dead. Dead. I was like, oh, okay. Well, he come back.
You mean when I leaned back up and started eating
Yeah.
popcorn and continuing to watch TV? So that means that you didn't watch all the movie. Okay.
I did watch all the movie. But that was their third one.
have you ever thought about doing is okay, so I know you just did the assistant too. Is there any thought about doing like a web series or something like that, like a drama or something like that that you can put out every single week? What about that?
Nobody
Oh
read that.
Jesus. So I have taken the vein of I want to put out nothing but like movies. Um, if I
Okay.
could help it. I have a niche and I have a particular fascination with like thriller, suspense, mystery, sci-fi. So I think that's kind of Jante Productions' flavor of cinema, to kind of tell stories through that kind of lens. I do really, really want, and I'm thinking about collaborating with another production company. I really want to have a black gay like Love Jones kind of movie, like authentically
That would be
told.
nice.
And I feel like we get dramas, we get like sexcapades, we get reality kind of thing. But I really want like that classic Love and Basketball, Love Jones, 90s. Now it's completely different than like my genre that I'll go to, but like that is a story that like an outlier that I would kind of reach out toward. But as far as like a weekly kind of thing, I don't really see me doing it simply because I know myself and the kind of quality I would want from that, and that would be completely isolated from my personal life. Like no one would ever see me to the production. I would always have to kind of be involved. It would be a lot to do it right. So I don't really
Yeah.
see me doing
Okay.
Well, as
Actually,
far as like the Love Jones idea, I think that would be a great idea because you don't really see Um, movies like that for us that tells like a real love story. We don't really see many of those like that, and it would be nice to see that because when it comes to us, of course we do, the web series, and then we do all the sex scenes and shit like that, and that's cool to watch. But the I do like the idea of the Love Jones thing. So that'd be nice. That'd be real nice, honestly. That'd be good to see.
I'll be here for
Question
that.
for Jamar. I have a question for you.
Oh God.
So, no, it's a good one. After this, do you see yourself continuing acting?
Actually, yeah. Now that I see that it's something I can actually do, now I'm like, okay, so what? Okay, because clearly I can do crazy, and I feel like if I'm casting anything else, I can't be the same role because they're going to suspect me right off the bat. So it wouldn't even be believable at that point. So I mean, I definitely would be open to it. Um, hopefully, Alice will have me back with any future productions.
I will say two things. So my next production, I'm going to take a break from the assistant series. I love. I think my next like admiration. I've been having this mystery movie on my mind for a while now, and I have some bones to it. So I really want to kind of develop that. Um, but I'll also say this about Jante Productions specifically, and like I'll have Roman, Jamar, and Lamarr speak on their view of it. My whole goal as a production company with them as talent was to make sure that they had certain expectations when it came to working with specifically someone like in the LGBT community when you're doing like any projects or anything like from a business standpoint, like you should expect like an NDA, you should expect a contract, you should expect a call sheet, you should have some type of say about what your character is doing, just certain things you should expect from a business in and not just kind of show up and be thrown somewhere, have someone take advantage of you, or like tell you that like you have a nude scene and you like it's more than what you really signed up for. You don't really know why you're doing certain stuff. There's certain stuff that I've experienced just as talent with the many production companies I've been with that I wanted to make sure from a business standpoint was completely respectable and kind of set a new standard for like just working in this industry. So that was also my goal as far as storytelling.
Um, what I will say is it did feel like from my first time really delving into the realm of acting is that one of the things that he did like once even before because I think even before I did the role of Tristan, I still signed the NDA. Am I correct? Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
commercial. So I still had to sign the NDA. Um, he gave out the call sheets, and we had the table readings, and I think table readings and combined with if the scene was going to be happening sometime that week, we would kind of get together on the Zoom call and kind of just go through the lines to see. Basically, everybody knew their lines, but it was just like the time to get the cadence right. Like, how is it supposed to be said? What's like what's the word I'm looking for?
Direction. It was the direction of the scene, what's going on.
Yeah. So that you kind of know, like, okay, this is how the scene's gonna flow. So by the time that we get to set, you kind of already have an idea as to how to deliver the lines. I think that helped out a lot because there were some scenes or some lines. I think me and Lamarr were kind of like, "How does this make sense? How am I supposed to say this?" So it made it a lot easier. So I appreciate it. So hopefully it gets. We'll definitely be working on. Well, I definitely will be going up for more uh, acting roles since I think this is something that I'm good at. Surprisingly, surprisingly. So
You
I can
are.
ask. What's that?
I said you are.
Well, thank you. No, so I want to ask
I'm not
Lamar and Roman. Um, are there any projects of acting that you guys have coming up and that you're going to be pursuing in the near future?
Do you want to go first?
Oh, I'm open currently. I think. I think I'm open. I think cause my memory bad. As far as I know, I don't have anything. I don't have anything coming yet. I don't think.
Because Lamar be going back and forth between acting and singing. So
He does.
And procrastination.
Oh,
But like,
but
no, I'll do that
we
next
still
time.
support. We definitely still support. I'm going to be cameo in the Do Yourself a Favor. It was a trailer that was part of the theatrical
Yeah.
release. So I will be in that. And that kind of gives Insecure like vibes. So really excited for y'all to see this.
and
I just. Oh, sorry. Go.
oh no, I just said I want to let you answer as well.
Oh, okay. I just wrapped the film with Clifton Powell, and then I have 3 more projects coming up, and then I'll just kind of retire a little bit to go finish university in London because I've been being a bad person and not doing that.
Well, I mean that's good. You book. We like to see
On
people be.
Clifton?
I'm trying to be, but after actually, I was about to like give up acting before this project, but I've known Alex for some years now. We've never worked together, and I was like, oh, he's casting for something. It would be nice to work with this guy. So then that's when I decided to audition for that.
Glad
And,
you did. No, I would never have lived without you.
I doubt it, but I'm sure somebody would pull it off. But
I mean, Alice, do you ever think about the alternate universe where Nah was played by somebody else? The original Tristan was played.
I wish I would have got a killer role. I could do that justice. I could do crazy
I will.
well.
I will say this. Because I have been hounded by Lamarr about this. If there, according to my co-writer, when the third assistant comes up, if he's willing, Lamarr will be more of a Michael Myers character where he'll be killing bitches because the wind is blowing. You know, that's kind of where it will get to. Because
No, with no police. Well, the only thing I can say about the 2 of these films is that it's kind of unrealistic to have an all black cast and motherfuckers is getting killed without fighting back. Because I asked Alex, I was like, can I like fight back? Can I like? Because I don't know anybody where I'm from who just gonna get killed. Like, come on.
that was part of like it was a line that Jamar said. Jamar has said it like you're used to killing people like by surprise. You've been catching people off guard, which is
I ain't never
how
off
I
guard. It's like, okay, so I just gotta sit here and die. Okay.
I can see it too. Because after every take when we was taking his death scene, he was like, "This would not happen in real life. I would have fought you. Would have took that knife and stabbed you."
Yo, I mean, if you knew me, I was like, ooh, this is, yeah. I'm a little crazy, but not too crazy, I guess.
So Jamar, who was your favorite character outside of yourself? And
Outside
Scotty,
myself,
who is your favorite character outside of Jamar? Obvious bias.
huh? Let's see. Outside of
I think
myself,
I think I said Henry. I thought he was funny.
Henry or now?
I think outside of myself, it was
And I get
definitely
them confused too.
still definitely between Lamar and Roman, just because of how well my character played off of the two of them. Like it was two different dynamics. Uh, so it would still be between the two of them. Like I could be like aggressive, like I got a chance to play aggressive with Lamar and like shady with Roman. So I mean, it would be between the two of them, for sure. Oh, Scotty, what did you answer? What did you say? Oh, you say Henry.
Yeah, it was Roman's character.
Nine.
In the
Okay,
second, because of course I like
I
Lamar's
be forgetting my
character.
character's name too.
That's
I
why
don't
I
know.
knew who he was talking about. Nile.
okay, that's what I was saying. You said Henry. I said Henry was funny.
I thought his name was Henry Brown.
Oh, stop.
So
But he like Roman's character.
I want to
Thank
ask
you.
what do you think? What was the most difficult scene to film in the movie? What was the hardest?
The most difficult scene to film. I'm trying to think back.
Mind you, this is like January through April, y'all. Launch.
Honestly, I feel like the most difficult scene to film, to be honest, was the first scene with Rico and Trey. Only because the way we filmed it was very different from how the script was, just on logistics. So the way it played out in my head, like Rico's character, I can't spoil it. We've been spoiling this whole time, but Rico's character was supposed to be electrocuted.
Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta grab something.
Oh, okay.
Rico's character was supposed to be electrocuted, and how we were going to kill Trey was like different. So filming that in such a way where you didn't really show your hand, but you really got more of a sense that the stakes were going to be bigger this particular time because it was a sequel. So filming it where you felt more of an impact from their death, but it wasn't like too revealing. Figuring out how to do that on set in real time was I think the probably most challenging, because everywhere else I think we had a idea about what some of the parameters like furniture and some of the things that we had at our disposal to film with. That one was like kind of, there's some unknowns there.
Okay. So that was like, I guess it was difficult for like the storytelling aspect of it, trying to make it give the same impact as the rest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about you, Lamarr?
What about what?
What
Did
would
you
you say?
skip me on the last question? So what's my question?
What was the
now?
last question? That's you got skipped up.
You asked. Somebody asked who was whose favorite character, and you skipped when it came to me. So I don't know what my question is now.
I asked that question to Jamar and Scotty. Well,
You
told
just
me
asked Jamar. Oh, I thought you asked everybody. My bad.
See, look at you.
I really did think so. Why would you ask Jamar and Scotty who was their
Lamar,
favorite
who is your favorite character,
It don't even
Lamar?
matter at this point. My question,
We
Jamar.
want to know. We want to know. We want to know.
Yeah, it's too late. I didn't get asked. So what was your question, Jamar, that you was about to ask? I'm glad Roman ain't here,
What
because
was
I'm
the
sure
hardest
Roman
thing
was
to
ready to
film?
answer too.
What was the hardest? What do you think was the most difficult scene for you to film?
Probably like Devon said in the comments or the chat, the scene with Imani and myself with that damn pole. It was between the pole and the wind. It was like the wind just got heavy right when we were really needing good sound. And what you all hear in the movie is nothing compared to what we heard. It was like clack, clack, clack. And I'm sitting there like, I'm still doing my lines. I'm like, so y'all don't hear that? And Alex just over there like this. Cut. Let's move over. Let's wait. Then we had people coming by trying to be nosy. These two ladies the building was closed.
Child,
Ladies walking up and just looking around like, and we just waiting there like, okay. And they finally walked off real slow looking. I'm surprised they didn't ask us, so what y'all doing? Like it was like that was a long scene to shoot because it was just unnecessary shit going on. Devon was over it. Alex was over it.
And it was real short and sweet. I mean, it was important for the sake of flow, but you would never know.
You would have never known, but it was hell. That wind and that pole was not playing. And Imani was just sitting there like, her issue was her hair. Everybody else's issue was that damn wind and that pole. That was it.
Oh, that was my favorite scene with her.
That bounce. I said that she looked like y'all watch the Powerpuff Girls.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that woman that was the woman with the red hair? She worked with
Miss Bellum.
Is that her hair was always cut off?
Yes.
Baby, them hips and that hair, that bounce. That's all I got to say.
That pan when she was coming like from above, you could see her. I was like,
yeah. I said, that's her, baby.
Roman, we were asking, what was the most difficult scene for you to film?
I don't know if it was, you know what, it wasn't difficult. It's just that I like, to be honest, like doing the film was a load off. So like literally 20 minutes before my audition, my aunt had passed away to COVID. And I was like, oh, it's too late to reschedule. So I just did the audition. So then going through rehearsals, I was flying back and forth from California to help plan her funeral. So for me, doing the film was great because I didn't get to think about that. Because now was somebody totally different. He didn't have these problems. He could laugh. We was joking on set, and I didn't have to think about any of that, and that was great for me. So it was pretty much medicine, like therapy. So that was like the easier part.
Of everything,
Yeah.
and we're sorry about your aunt, and
Oh, thank you.
all condolences because that 2020 sucked.
It was a lot for everybody, I'm sure.
So
Yeah, it was.
and I guess if since I asked what was the most difficult, what was your favorite scene to film? And I guess that goes for everybody.
Well, Jamar, you got to answer the same question. What was your favorite?
Right here.
I was gonna let that go slip right on by, but
I thought I didn't answer that question.
no, he's talking about me.
Oh, I feel the same way.
Difficult?
Yeah.
Difficult. I don't want to say it wasn't necessarily difficult, but physically, being hemmed up by Alex up against the wall, by that, what was that thing?
My pull-up bar.
Yeah, me have to exert physical effort and stabbed in the throat. And that fake blood tastes disgusting. I rinsed my mouth for like 10 minutes to get that stuff out of there. I don't know what it was. It felt gross.
It's all over the place.
It felt gross.
Yeah, Roman's death scene to me was iconic. That slide. First of all, that slide, the little skirt that you hear in the movie when his body slide, it's actually happening. That's not something I added.
I was on that floor for 45 minutes for a 3-second scene. I was like, oh, when I saw it, I was like, I know my face was on this man's floor. In this blood. I don't know if he washed his floor or not. It's COVID and shit. And I'm like laying here. And then I'm like,
Roman was down there for a long time because first he had to die. He had to fall down there multiple times. And then he had to get stabbed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after the stabbing, he had to lay there and get the makeup done for the stabbing, which took 20 minutes or so. However many stab wounds you had, like 6.
Shout out to Devon as a cinematographer and a makeup artist.
Yeah, so all of the cut.
It was kind of cold in there. I was just in my underwear.
Well, he was laying there for a long time. So then after Devon was done.
Yeah, because remember Chris left and came back because he had to go pick up his boyfriend from work. So I was there for a good minute.
I forgot about that. I really forgot about that.
I know, because I remember my face had the little blood right here. And when Chris Mann walked in with the sweats, I was like...
And it starts.
Yeah, I cannot. But and then I had to drag him across the floor, which I was like hurting. Because I was like, I am really dragging this man across. It is skeeting his skin across this hardwood floor. I just hope it wasn't hurting.
Yeah.
And then he gets far enough, and they said, keep pulling them. I'm like, oh.
Actually,
I guess there was some difficult parts. I forgot. I've been drinking.
Oh gosh. But yeah, I think that, for my difficult part was definitely being hemmed up against the wall. And then dying.
What was about me?
Roman, you still gotta get your little bracelet. Everybody got a bracelet who came to the theater premiere.
Damn, I should have put mine on. It's in the room.
Let me see what y'all bracelets look like.
Oh yeah, let me go grab it.
I'm gonna grab it. And then Lamarr and Jamar got a poster.
I was wondering if I get a poster. I was like, and then somebody said, I think one of my friends, I was like, they look like they got posters. She was like, well, if you would have went, you probably would have got one.
Let me see if I can put the light towards it. So it has
The assistants.
the
Aw.
And it's the Jante production on the other side.
Yeah.
whatever that is.
And then the Jante Productions on this other side. I'm like, look at this. This been official.
Okay.
I need
Happy
to put my
Halloween
poster up
season.
somewhere. I might
Well,
find
Alex
it.
already got his framed.
Yeah.
Well,
Alex,
no,
really, you ain't got no wall
Alex
space
been
over
had
there.
that. That ain't the poster.
That's a smaller version.
Yeah, like we had yeah.
Giants. I'm gonna have to go and try to find it. I don't even know what the dimensions of this are. Do you know what the dimensions of this are?
I need the dimensions.
Okay, so I can find the right frame for it because I was gonna have to hold it up against it and try to figure it out. Ooh, but lastly, before we go, I just want to ask what everyone's favorite scene was, and then what. Well, I guess we already talked about what the upcoming projects were, so I guess we could just talk about what everyone's favorite scene was from being in the movie, and then Scotty for watching it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I knew it was some as far as upcoming, just real quick, Rico, who was in the movie. I actually am featured on one of his songs on his upcoming EP that's coming up. So I forgot about that. And then I think he's supposed to be filming something, and we're supposed to be collabing on that. It's something that he's in. I can't remember. I hope he ain't looking because I can't. My memory bad. But so that will be considered a collab. I guess you said going back and forth from the singing rapper. So I am featured on one of his songs. So and that he said he's doing it. I think maybe like the beginning of next year. He's releasing all of that music. So my bad. Little plug. Go ahead.
I heard that too. That was nice. That was nice. That was nice. So yeah, we can go to the favorite part, and then we can our exit. I guess let's start with Alex. What was your favorite part to film?
My favorite part to film, honestly, probably was the game day scene because you had so many characters there, and it just allowed me as a director to play with some angles and capture some of those moments. Like there was, I mean, it's short and relative at time, but like the moment where you, Jamar, are explaining like the card game, and it's like a slow pan up the table of you talking, like that's to me, it was very cinematic kind of moment to kind of have, but you don't really get to do that unless you have a lot of talent on set. And traditionally, as indie projects, you don't really want so many people because it's hard to coordinate all those people at one time. So it's like a real rarity to kind of get one talented people and then being able to like do stuff like that. So that's one of my favorite.
I agree.
Same. I like an ensemble cast. It was fun.
Let's see.
The very favorite to shoot and then favorite to watch.
We could do that.
My favorite to watch was the sex scene, only because of the things that the original song that I had for it is the song I had in mind when I was filming it.
Oh yeah.
My favorite scene to watch is when Jamar was getting hit. No, when you finally got your just dessert. Because at first I was like, "Come on, Lamarr, you got all these muscles, bitch! Like beat his ass." And then finally they got you, and I was like, "Yes, bitch, that's what you get." I was in bed saying that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, let me stop for the neighbors hear me yelling at the screen.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough.
You deserved it because he wasn't your man. Henry was not your man. Maybe in your head, just not at all. So
nobody's now. Nobody has him.
The Lord.
Now he belongs to nobody. Shit. What was your favorite to film?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
it was definitely the game day. That was my favorite because it was like more people. I like an ensemble cast to play off of, and it got to the points where you get to that fourth wall where you're like, I forgot there was a camera here. We was just, doing our lines, but also talking in between time, and then also drinking. So you kind of forget that there was a camera there at some point. So I like that.
I agree. Lamarr?
My favorite to film was My favorite to film was probably me and Jamar scene right at the end, because we got a chance to, like, once we got it right, Alex showed us a couple little clips, and me and Jamar was like, "Oh, we did that. We did that." When we got it right and we saw it and the lighting and stuff, we was like, "Oh yeah, that looked good." My favorite to watch was your demise. Um, from the and I remember because when it was somebody in, I think it was Jarvis in the theater, when I had opened up that door and Jarvis said, "Oh, that bitch crazy done kicked in." I said, somebody understands me. And then I can also tell it was somebody there that was sitting in front of me, and I know he hadn't watched the first one, because with that death scene and how it transitioned from, me and Alex, and that Alex back to myself, the guy was like, "Wait a minute, it's two of them? I'm so confused." And he was talking to whoever the lady was beside him. He was like, "I don't understand." I wanted to tap him so bad and be like, "Well, had you watched the first one?"
Hey.
But yeah, that was my favorite too.
I also interject along with the sex scene. My favorite scene to watch was the interaction between Lamarr and my mom, Carrie, because that back and forth was iconic.
Ooh.
Icon. She said her favorite scene actually was you, Lamarr, and Amani, but my favorite scene was you and her going back and forth, because the tension between y'all was really strong, and y'all weren't even talking to each other. That was the thing about it.
You couldn't tell.
I think what happens, and this
Right.
happens probably in everybody's household, that has like siblings and stuff like that, is you can get with your siblings. Like I was in Tess' ass. Okay, I still don't see why are you calling me? What do you want? Well, baby, when my mama got on that phone, I couldn't get with her like I got with my sisters. It was like it was like I can't, like, what can you say?
Right.
Even when I got off the phone, it wasn't the same setup as with Tess. So it was. I love to see that and to do that comparison between the two. I couldn't get with my mama like I could get with my sister. So you can see the different dynamics. It's like, so I enjoyed seeing that in general. I love that. And Alex was like, "I'm gonna tell you right now, your mom ain't no joke." So I was like, "Oh hell!" So I was so interested to see that in the theater. When I picked up the phone and she picked up the phone, I said, "Oh hell, we go," because I hadn't seen her parts prior to the movie. So I was like, "Oh shit, let me see what she giving."
That I think, it was very believable. I think those of us who have had like similar situations like that were just like, ooh, triggered.
Mm.
That was some of the point, right? That was some of the point. We as Black gay men, there has been some type of push or pull that we've experienced with our brothers, good, better, and different. Like, we've all had a conversation where, like, you didn't feel good enough, or you were a trigger for some type of cause. For Reese, it just happened to push him all the way to the edge.
She said, "I couldn't handle a boy child with a switch." And somebody said, "Hang up on her." I don't know who it was. Somebody said, "Hang up on her."
Ooh, they can't be Black. You can't hang up on a Black mama. She can hang up on you. But you can't hang up on her.
Okay, I cannot. Oh my gosh.
I think we're a Roman. I jumped in.
Favorite to watch was the post production of everything, all the effects with the knife, like across the face, and then like in his chest, in his side, like that looks so much more dramatic than it was to actually film.
Oh, I was gonna say all that. I was like, "Can I holler in here?" Because I had to say all that. I was like, "That's got to be believable. You done stabbed me up. You done walked in my rent and stabbed me." Yeah. You can't have all of it, Jamar.
I'm gonna say something shady about us.
You can't have all of it. Give me something, damn it.
Which, you know what, that's fair. That's fair. To film, I think I agree with everybody else, was game day. Game Day to film it felt very similar to how it was when it was in post production. It just was better to see it, I think. But yeah, so Scotty, what was your favorite one to see?
Your demise, because it reminds me of a soap opera when they finally find out the truth. That's what that's
Look at Jamar.
He said, Scotty said that like some old woman sitting on the porch. Show the mind.
Just you think you know somebody, I swear.
Probably said the same thing.
But you know what? That's fair. That's fair. You know what? But I appreciated. I feel like that means that everybody was into the character. They bought the character.
Y'all have to get into these comments real quick. I just want to shout out everybody, Nikki, Devon, Mom, everybody that's in here. Let's just Devon.
What are they saying? I don't see anything.
I also laughed at Nikki too when she was on that Zoom call. That was funny.
Oh, baby, Nikki was gonna sell her part. She needed to be that. Everybody needed that person in the classroom. She was that person, and I loved it.
Right.
You didn't even realize. So, like, when you're on a Zoom call, you don't know what I'm going to use, right? Like, the way that the screens kind of flip back and forth, it's just like all organic. So I was like, Nikki, you don't even realize like, some of the stuff you was probably saying that I caught. Devon said his favorite scene to watch was Jamar Lamarr in the doorway after he kicked him out. It gave a little bit more character insight and moved the story forward. So when you were leaning on the doorway.
Oh, yeah.
The favorite scene to film was actually Roman's death. The dragging was epic.
Because it looked painful in real life.
Because it was in real life.
He had already been by the time I dragged him from that spot, he'd been laying in that spot for at least a half an hour. For at least a half an hour.
We're in a pandemic, y'all. I'm just saying. That's not sanitary. And I'm a germaphobe. I was like, bitch, you gonna do this. Do this job.
You did it.
Oh gosh. But yes, again.
Y'all not gonna miss on Devon talking about Amani's wig being blown back by the wind.
I like that bounce. I was like, come on, wind effect.
I mean, it was in the trailer. She said, "Whoosh."
That was one of my favorite scenes. But Lamarr, I have to ask. So in that scene, she's like being jovial and speaking to you, and you kind of like paying her dust. And I was just like, he is so rude. I would like smack him about that teacher.
So, and I think I don't know. Maybe it depends. It was contingent upon the angles or whatnot. But it was supposed to be because like I was going through some shit. Like, I think that was probably the second time y'all saw me out of the house. And the first time was when I was coming home in the beginning. So I was just like, okay, I got this email. I need to go to school. I need to get out. So I was trying to be, and if you notice, I think the only time I really just smiled was with the game night. And then like when she first came up, the rest of the movie I was going through. So when she was like, well, you look like you need a little counseling too. I wasn't being rude to her. I was just focused on the bullshit. So it wasn't me being rude. It was me like, I'm sorry. I forgot you was here. What happened? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What's going on? That's what that was supposed to be. You just want me to get beat up. I would have slapped you. Whatever movie you're in next, it's got to be an action film.
Oh, I love action movies.
No,
I'm
talking about you, Roman. It's got to be because you've been talking about fighting ever since you came on here.
Well, no, it's just because,
Yeah.
Just certain situations I done been in, I'm kind of like, yo, I would have got like hit or we would have been fighting. I don't know. I try to be real nice and classy these days now that I'm in my 30s, but back in my 20s.
We're different now. We're different now.
The growth. You try. Every day is a struggle.
Oh my gosh. But I think we've pretty much come to the conclusion of this interview. I thank everybody for coming along and sharing their stories and the experience. Did everybody have a good time?
Yes, thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We thank Alex again for letting us be part of this amazing project.
Thank you for all for being a part. Um,
Woo.
yes, like I said, I appreciate the professionalism of everyone on the cast. My paid cast. Um,
Oh,
I also appreciate the dedication to the art of storytelling. I just want to emphasize that enough. I feel like there are a few web series and YouTube content and just digital content where stories are actually being told, and I know people really appreciate that. So thank you to your dedication to the art to everyone.
I like how we went through this whole interview with no drama, no shade.
I don't know about no shade, but
Well, there was a lot of questions I held back, but
because I felt it. I felt it coming. It was right at the brim.
I
Speaking,
was like,
I was gonna say, speaking of no shade, that's when I first saw Roman. I love
oh,
that
that
show.
was a good shout. I like that.
Yeah.
Some of them other ones, not so much. But that's
all right, and there it is.
all right. Okay, it was nice talking with you guys. I'm about to go make some biscuits. We'll see.
I go make some biscuits. You have any parting words, Scotty?
Scott is stuck on business.
I was. First off, I want to thank you three for coming on the show. Especially Alex. I mean, not Alex. 'Cause I already knew Alex. I've been knowing Alex for a long time now, so that was a given. Um, uh, especially Roman and Lamar, because I didn't know you two until I was looking at the movie and stuff like that. So it's nice to have you guys on the show to get to know you guys better and all of that stuff. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate Alex for coming on the show, even though we have this shady banter. We're both Aquarius, and we come from we know each other from back in the gap, so whatever. But I'm glad that you came on the show, though.
Do you got something to say to me?
I don't.
Yeah, what happened? Because there was something in the beginning before we
I
started
think I
rolling.
just realized. I think I just
We
picked up on
already
something.
know each other from back in the college days, way, way, way back when we
Where
was out
y'all go to
Yeah,
school
we know
at?
each other. We go way back,
sure
so.
Jackson
But yeah,
State.
this was a fun interview. Even though I'm coming on here straight from work, tired as I don't know what, but it was a good interview. I enjoyed hearing everybody's
Come on,
experience
bundles.
on set and all of
I
that
was
stuff.
like,
So
baby, don't be
just
pulling,
looking
baby. I'm
back.
coming.
Look,
I'm coming, baby.
that
you
one
know,
day, the same day we did game day, we was playing around with Devon's. What's that contraption called?
Whatever that flying helicopter thing
The
was,
flying
the
helicopter.
camera.
I didn't even notice.
Y'all showing y'all age.
Why doing this on top of this? It says somebody always got to outdo you.
I always got to show with all this hair. I think I was the only one that had hair in the first movie, right? Well,
Yeah.
that hair that was worth mentioning.
You see? You
Yeah.
see?
Wow.
No, because I thought about somebody,
well,
but
with
them
that
locks,
being said,
So, Alex, who would you not work with again from the second movie?
Oh.
You don't really have to answer that. I'm just saying.
I think we have a unanimous answer of what that is
Oh no.
or who that is.
right.
Oh, I don't know. I only
okay,
met
so I don't
y'all
know
in my
what that
season.
is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I don't know what that's about. But that being said, Jamar and I have other
I was
interviews
a
that's
teacher
coming
every
up after
morning.
this one in a couple of weeks. I don't know exactly when, but I know we have other interviews coming up. With the as far as chasing Dallas and stuff is concerned. Those are my final words. Um, as far as like chasing Dallas and all of that stuff is concerned, so be on the lookout for more interviews from us because we're just now getting back into the groove of it all. But this was a good interview to start over with, though, for real, for real. It's just good to hear everybody's experiences on set because when you look at shit on the movies and on the shows and stuff, just to hear what happened behind the scenes and how it all came about is a different thing.
Yeah,
So I think.
Baby.
because you don't know behind the scenes who slept with who fought whose man, that type of stuff.
Oh well.
Yeah, I mean that is very true. It comes out eventually, but that's very true. Um, thank you for having us.
Thank you,
Prelude.
Brad.
And yeah, look forward to more works from Jante Productions. Be on the lookout for casting calls, and we'll see. I'm gonna be on break for the holiday season, but we'll be back.
You're not gonna do a Christmas. You should do a Christmas special,
I won't.
like
Yeah,
a 15, like like a little 10-minute Christmas special.
he would have had to have already started that back in July.
Let me help you. Let me help you.
But yeah, thank y'all again so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Bye, y'all.
Alrighty
Peace
then, I guess that's the end, you guys. So we'll see everybody later. Peace out. Shit. Well, let's just do it. Okay.